How you doing, beauties? So first allow me to introduce myself for people unfamiliar with me. My name is Nyhmnim, and I'm a YouTuber that does discussion videos such as the one you are about to see today. Allow me to give a massive thank you to SlimXTeamSymmetry for allowing me to post on his channel, also known as SlimXTeamCloud, or Slim, or as I like to call him, Slim. A huge opportunity, and I'm always thankful. Thank you, Slim. Now, I'm not always the person to give the most liked opinion, of course. And this is going to be another one of those days. I'm not going to tell you guys what you want to hear, but this is what you kind of have to hear. Whether you like it or not, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a pay-to-win game. Take a look at top tier decks. Currently, let's observe what's topping right now. Fire Fist, Hieratics, Mermails, Spellbooks, other shit. What do you notice about these decks? They're all pretty fucking expensive, right? We see some of these decks topping at a pretty high price that are maybe $200 at most. Maybe a little bit more if you're looking at side and extra as well. And these are the decks that are ultimately topping everywhere. I'm sure we can't deny that Hieratics and Fire Fist are pretty good fucking decks. However, the mentality a lot of people have is, oh, you can be the best fucking Crystal Beast player in the world and beat Hieratics if you know what you're doing. Yeah, that may be true in some cases, but let's look at statistically. How much more often do you think that Hieratic player, despite how good he is, because of his deck build and the deck consistency at what it is now in this format, how much better do you think he's going to do than that Crystal player? Chances are he's going to beat that Crystal Beast player's ass more than the Crystal Beast player can beat him. Why? Because Hieratics are just a fucking better deck. Now you may be defending yourself like, oh no, Crystal Beast's the best deck in the format, man. Always best deck. However, let's look at the fucking tier list, and a lot of people are in disagreement with you. There is a huge power gap between decks. Whether you like it or not, it exists. And it's just common knowledge that the best deck, the better it is, the more expensive it is. A lot of people don't understand that they can't win by just buying a structure deck and looking at it and saying, why am I not winning? Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game, whether you like it or not, that you have to invest in to win. Now sure, there are all those rare occurrences where your deck that you may have invested $10 in beat some high top tier deck out of pure luck, but that's all it will be. It'll be luck. If you didn't invest the money into staples, into the best cards in your deck that you may be playing, your deck's not going to be where it should be. That's like if I looked at spellbooks and said, okay, I'm going to play spellbooks without Secret, Blue Boy, Priestess, and Tower. Okay, it may very well happen. Is it going to be good? No. There's a reason those cards are super expensive. It's because they make the deck fucking good. You can try to run the deck without them, but it's not going to be at the level it has to be. And when you're not winning with that deck you built without those important cards, you can't look at it and ask, why the hell am I not winning with this? Spellbooks are the best deck of the format. I just don't have Towers, Secrets, and Blue Boy. Why am I not winning? If you want to play your deck at the highest competitive level, you're gonna have to invest. Now don't get me wrong, there is ways you can spend a little amount of money into making a competitive deck. For example, structure decks. I'm going to give 2 good examples of structure decks that become highly competitive when you buy 3 of them. Now, when becoming competitive, you can't just get away on buying 1 structure deck. A lot of people don't understand, when you're building that deck, you have to buy 3 structure decks. Investing $30 in the game? I'm going to tell you right now, though. Let's look at Fire Kings. Fire Kings is a perfect example of a deck you can invest a little amount of money in to make it top tier. Now, going by a number I pulled out of my ass, I think you can build a pretty competitive Fire King deck at around $80. Now for some people that may seem like a lot of money, but let's look. If you're not going to invest that amount of money in the game, you're most likely not going to win. There is a minimum amount of money you have to spend for you to be at least decent in the game, because you have to afford staples, extra deck cards, and just important cards in the deck, like Fire King Yaksha and stuff. You have to be willing to spend at least a base amount of money into a hobby you're willing to enjoy. And if you enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! Enough, you're going to be willing to spend at least maybe upmost $100 on a deck. Now let's give another quick example. The Cyber Dragon structure deck. Again, giving another number I pulled on my ass, I think you can also build a Cyber Dragon deck for around $80, $90. Main and extra. And what, we've seen recently a Cyber Dragon deck top a regional or 2? Yeah, it's pretty good. However, a lot of people seem to think there's this dream where they can just pull a handful of commons out of their common box that they got when they were like 6 and expect the top locals every week with it. It just doesn't happen. If you want to get competitive in Yu-Gi-Oh! And you want to win, you're going to have to invest a certain amount of money into the game. And like I said, if you enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! Enough, and you enjoy winning, you're going to be willing to spend that amount of money, no matter how much it would be. So to recap, whether you like it or not, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a pay-to-win game in some sense. The top tier decks are always going to be expensive, and they're always going to be the deck that's topping the most. That's just the way of life. So as you can see, it's pretty much the fucking Snowmageddon, as it always is in Canonsburg for some reason. Allow me to again thank Slim for letting me post on his channel today. As you can see, there's a little snow in the corner of that camera there. It's pretty funny. If you guys enjoyed my content, feel free to check out my channel. I'm sure Slim will be gracious enough to link it below. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Nyhmnim out.